Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. This morning we're very privileged to be in the house of well-known artist and author Leigh Hobbs, and Leigh has been one of the Australian talent the John Elliott Report has been promoting, given his advancement not only in Australia but on the international stage. So many thanks, Leigh, for having us here this morning.
Pleasure.
Now I understand from what you're telling me, this painting has a bit of significance for your career.
Well, it's the first painting that I ever did. A mate about 30 years ago, a mate had the canvas made up, asked me to do a painting for him, and I did it and never gave it to him because I rather liked it. We've remained mates in spite of that. But also, it on reflection, it's the first appearance really of the character that ended up being Old Tom.
And Old Tom was your so-called launching pad into the author and illustrator?
Yeah, that's right. As far as the book part of the work, Old Tom was the first character that I made up and the first character that I actually wrote a story or a book about.
What year was that?
Well, the book came out first book came out in 1994. So, and this house here is the house where Old Tom's owner, Angela Throgmorton, lives. So yes, it means a bit to me.
Not that you'd sell it, but what price would you?
I've got no idea. And in fact, it doesn't mean a lot to me in the sense of possessing it. It's just that it's the first time I ever picked up a brush and did something. So it took a couple of days. But and I enjoyed doing it so much that painting's another aspect of my work that I've followed through from this.
We'll follow that progress through and
sure
into your studio. So we'll move out there.
Yep.
Thank you. We are now in the main studio of the Leigh Hobbs Creative Den.
Creative Den, yes.
Here we just saw the beginnings of Old Tom, and here's a caricature of that well-known animal. But Leigh, tell us a bit of a story about these teapots.
Well, one of my real passions, I'm a real enthusiast as far as not only history, but architecture. And I drove past Flinders Street Station about 1981 and thought, gee, that'd look good as a teapot. So I went home and made a cardboard model, did some drawings, cardboard model of it as a teapot, and ended up doing a series of teapots. There are two of them. The National Gallery bought one of them. Actually have the original drawing in here. So the National Gallery have a small one, and the State Library have a set of the big ones. And I think at the moment the National Gallery Victoria's got a little theirs on display. And funnily enough, it's in a glass case. Mate didn't realise it's sitting in a glass case. And on the other side is the teapot house made in 1756, which inspired that, gave me the idea.
Talking about inspiration, how do you get your daily inspiration, or what's a normal day for Leigh Hobbs in your studio?
I get up at 6 and walk the dog, then have breakfast. Then I get out here as soon as possible and fiddle around, clean brushes, a little bit of light dusting or something, to just get me in the mood, and I start work as soon as possible while I've got lots of energy. I feel speedy in the morning.
So work involves what?
Work being, well, at the moment I'm working on drawings for another book, Mr. Badger book.
Got an example?
Yeah, I've got the sketchbook just here. I'll grab it over here. So this is the sketchbook that I never used to work in sketchbook. So this is ideas. I'm trying to work out the story. So I've worked out half the story, the beginning and the end. And I'm doing lots of drawings to try and fill in, get the middle worked out. But, I'll run dry with that and then thunder down to the other studio and do a bit of painting.
Just tell me, what was the inspiration for your latest book?
For Mr. Badger? Well, he's the latest character. Well, I was in London and the publisher had taken me out to afternoon tea at Claridge's and said, well, why don't you invent an English character? You love London. So I there and then, after a couple of champagnes, said, well, look, I'll make it a Mr. Badger. He works in a posh hotel, special events manager. Each book's a day in his life there, another adventure. And the book sort of just flowed, I think, because I'm very keen on London. I don't know.
In
So
what keen on London in what context?
well, I've visited lots of times, and I've got a real passion for London. Fascinated by the history and all aspects of it. It's a terribly knocked around city, but it's got something under the surface that I'm endlessly interested.
And you were privileged last year to give a presentation at the Cheltenham
yes,
Festival.
That was terrific. I was invited to do a couple of sessions at the Cheltenham Literary Festival, which was lovely. So I did that. And here's Mr. Badger here. This is a big painting. I mean, when I create characters, you know, I've got a bit of energy, so that's of course a sculpture version of Old Tom, and this is a little oil painting I did of Mr. Badger. And these, you know, like that sculpture of Old Tom's been with me to America twice, and all around Australia when I've done presentations, so they've been around a bit.
So life is fairly busy.
Yeah, well, it is busy, yes, which is a good thing.
And what you're telling me, you're off to London and France in February on a commission role?
Yes, yes. I'm going to, I think, be doing some school visits in London. And in France, I'm going there to do a series of etchings connected to Mr. Chicken.
Well, we'll talk about Mr. Chicken when we go to the next studio, but I think...
endless studios.
But you can see here, people get criticised for having a messy desk, but I think it just reflects the creative need.
Well, this is it's been tidied up. I've just had I've had a helper in here, and I've had 8 garbage bags full of stuff carted out. So this is it's pretty spick and span.
Well, we're pleased that you cleaned your office up for our
well, just for you.
Thank you very much, Leigh.
Pleasure.
We're now in studio number 2, but for those who are not artists, it's probably referred to as the doghouse. But Leigh, how do you normally spend your time here? It looks a bit messy with all this paint.
Yeah, well,
I guess
once
that's
again,
what the art is coming out of you.
Yeah, well, once again, this is a bit cleaned up as well. No, this is where I come to paint, because I can't. I learned I can't have oil paint and stuff around the computer and the telephone. But really, this is where I come if I really need to settle down and think and can't be distracted by people ringing up or emails and things. So, and I've got a little bit of a cubby house mentality. I actually like I like little spaces like this, and as you can see, you know, I can make as much mess as I like. So I've done a whole series of paintings of Mr. Chicken, of course, in oil, but really I had an exhibition last year at the Alliance Francaise. Lots and lots of paintings of buildings, and most of them were done in here. Luckily I sold most. So
we have one over there. Can you show the viewers that one on the top there?
No, this is Mr. Chicken.
Oh, Mr. Chicken.
That's to keep the dust off the...
That's all right. But what prices were you selling those for, just to give the viewers an idea
some
of
of the Mr. Chicken paintings went for $2,000, which was good.
So there you go. There is money out of art. Tell us a bit about Mr. Chicken. How did he get conceived?
Well, I was in Paris about 4 years ago, and I'd already made up the character Mr. Chicken for other books, the Horrible Harriet books, and I thought, it might be interesting to see this character tour France on top of buildings, and I did some little sketches in a crummy sketchbook, and from that book came about Mr. Chicken Goes to Paris. And the lovely thing is that Mr. Chicken, this book actually was published last year by Bloomsbury in England, and their version is selling really well at the Louvre and the Versailles bookshops.
And they're another leading English speaking shop?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, they sold about 1,000 in a week or so. I suppose tourists were quite flabbergasted to see a character like him.
So tell us, Leigh, if you go back 5 years, what's been your major achievement, or the issue, or?
Well, the book side of my work has taken off, really, I think, and it was lovely being published. Bloomsbury last year did four of my picture books, and they're a terrific publisher. Lovely to have things happening in England, even in a modest way. The thing with I love painting, so to have that that show at the Alliance of all my work, you know, sculptures, painting, was good because it meant that I was able to, you know, just have stuff other than illustrations of old Tom or that sort of stuff.
Well,
so, you know, challenge how people sort of think of you.
Perception.
Yeah, that's right. As an artist doing some interesting things rather than a bloke just working in books and publishing.
Well, viewers, I hope you'll see now what it takes to get international recognition. Hard
Yes,
work.
well, that is hard work. That's
You got to
right.
keep at it. You got to have a good American Express travel account.
No. I managed to do everything without that.
There you go. He's brought up in the frugal man. And I understand
Pay
you were
cash.
born and bred in Williamstown.
Yeah, born in Williamstown, left when I was 7 and came back 17 years ago.
Deja vu. Well, Leigh, wish you well on your pursuits. And
Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
I think viewers will find this interesting on the website, and we'll follow Leigh's progress with interest.
Thank you.
Thank you.